Imagine your studio has produced one of the most successful games ever made. It's raking in billions of dollars and there is no end in sight. As the months go by, you realize that the gamers that have made your game so successful are asking for two simple things: anti-cheat software integration and a new map. All you have to do to solidify this game as the most successful battle royale of 2020 and 2021 is deliver on these two very simple requests. It's the most straightforward update ever. The gamers are telling you exactly what they want, and you have over a year to do it with the billions of dollars that you're raking in. So why the would Activision blow it and fail to deliver on both of these simple requests? Well, who knows? But today that's what we're talking about, something that I call the Warzone paradox. It's the simple concept that you can have all of the tools to deliver on a couple of simple requests to save and maintain your game's success, and yet you completely drop the ball, disappointing everyone while acting shocked that people are less than enthused. Now, I have a few simple ideas on why this could be. So strap in and make sure to watch to the end to find out how you can participate in a AAA game giveaway. But before we get into it, let's thank the sponsor of this video, Secret Lab. Now, I'm sure this comes as no surprise, but I really like Secret Lab chairs. Hell, I am sitting in one right now. I'm rocking the Black Titan Leather 2.0. It's fantastic. Literally the best chair I have ever owned. I mean, think about it. If you're doing anything for 6 to 8 hours a day, you should at the very least make sure that you're comfortable while doing it. That's why a good chair is important. And that's why I don't mess around when it comes to chairs. That's why I only trust Secret Lab. Head to the link in the description box below or in the pinned comment to check out their wide selection and collections of different themed chairs. You can get something like this that's black leather, just looks sleek and clean and is comfortable to boot, or you can look at something like their Game of Thrones themed chairs, their Cloud9 chairs, Batman themed chair. They've got everything. Just go check it out. Again, links in the description box or the pinned comment below. Make sure to check them out. There's a ton of cool stuff and I cannot recommend them highly enough. Now, Warzone has proven itself to be a phenomenon. No one thought any game could take on Fortnite, but in March of 2020, Warzone came along to steal the show. It mixed the fast-paced, twitchy gameplay that COD is known for with a large map and significant verticality. Millions upon millions of players joined the ranks almost immediately to see who could survive the longest. However, there are two significant pieces to this puzzle that are completely missing, and that is sustained support and significant anti-cheat software. Now, when we talk about sustained support, there are a few things that we have to address. The first one I want to bring up are the issues with the meta, or the fact that there's a new meta almost every week, because every time they balance something, there's a new gun that they break completely. Allow me to go down the list. Since the game's launch, we have had DMR Zone, AUG Zone, Stim Glitch Zone, FFAR Zone, M16 Zone, Diamati Zone, R9 Dragon's Breath Zone, and sadly I could keep going for a while because, like I said, every time they fix one of these, another one breaks. And I think it's important to stress when we talk about a meta in Warzone, we're not simply referring to a gun that's just a little bit better than the others at that time. When DMR Zone was in full effect, there was no other gun that you could use and be even moderately competitive if you were playing above a 1.0 KD. This thing was it. Literally in 2 or 3 taps, you could be from 3 plates, fully alive, happy, ready to go, just running across a field to dead. Like that. Before you could even turn around to see where the shots were coming from. Similar issues with the AUG and the M16. I think the FAR was probably the most balanced of any of these metas. It was accessible, lots of people could play with it, and it still felt relatively fair. Oh shoot, I gotta turn on my light. There we go. Hi, I'm editing this video together right now. I just spilled smoothie all over my shirt. It's been a day. I just realized I say gallantry like 5 times in the video. It's gallantry, like being gallant or galantrous, whatever that is. It's gallantry, not gallantry. Ignore me. Back to the video. And then with regards to close range encounters, things like the Galantry and the R9 Dragon's Breath shotgun were also the metas of their time. There was simply nothing else you could play with that would go toe to toe with these guns. If you ran into somebody using them and you weren't, you were going to lose. There was no question. And the Galantry is probably the worst offender because there were actual stat boosts that only took effect when you were using the Galantry blueprint for the weapon. If you were just using the Mac 10 with the same attachments, you would perform worse than the one that was using the expensive paid skin, especially early on before people had fully unlocked the battle pass to get to, I think it was rank 94 where you unlocked the Galantry. Streamers and people who had more dollars than cents would pay through the rest of the battle pass to unlock it, use it earlier, and they were cleaning up with it. I mean, you guys remember how the mobility, you could actually get it to go off the chart, literally off the chart. It was ridiculous. And then we have something like the Diamatis, which were fixed relatively quickly, but were just stupid.
Stopping power Diamatis!
And then, of course, there were many other exploits that have come across the game throughout the last year or so, such as the Stim glitch, which would allow you, if you had a Stim on you, to survive perpetually in the gas. You could literally just run to the edge of the map, far away from the circle, and just keep using the Stim until everybody else was dead who wasn't using and exploiting this glitch. This is something they've patched out, I think at this point, 3 times, and it continually returns. Every time they patch it, give it a month, it'll be back somehow. I don't know how they can't manage to fix this, but it's still a thing. And so when we talk about sustained support over long term, you would hope to see metas that are balanced out, or at the very least weapons that are balanced to the point where everything is fair to play. Look at something like Monster Hunter World or Monster Hunter Rise. Both of those games are fantastically well balanced. All of the weapons feel fair and are just as viable as the others. I could argue that in Rise, the Greatsword is probably boosted a little too much, but I digress. In Warzone, no matter what, there is always one loadout that is king of all of the loadouts. I'm actually starting to suspect at this point that this is intentional on the part of Activision, that they are intentionally making certain weapons significantly better than all of the rest that you could possibly use, just so that players have an incentive to continue playing and grinding to unlock whatever that weapon is and all of the attachments for it. My evidence for this would be that, for the most part, very few metas are recycled or repeated. There haven't been that many guns that they've nerfed that have come back and become the meta once again. There's a couple of examples, but not many. For the most part, every time there's a new meta, it's a brand new gun that people probably wouldn't have unlocked or had all of the attachments for if they're not playing a ton. So it incentivizes players to grind out with that weapon another 50 rounds to get all the attachments just in time for them to nerf that weapon and move on to the next one. Sorry if you hear a scratching sound. My bearded dragon is like freaking out on the edge. Can you see this? Look. Vill. You doing okay? If I go back to talking, he's gonna think I'm distracted and he's gonna start moving again. Just watch. I'm gonna go back like I'm doing my thing. Oh, yeah, there he goes. Every time I start filming, he gets all excited because he thinks that, like, the lights are coming on. It's daytime. Let's rock and roll. He's so funny. Like the video for dragons. They're super cool. I love him. Now, beyond regularly butchering the metas, we also have to look at long-term support in terms of gameplay modes and systems. They've introduced a few different things that I've actually enjoyed, such as the Resurgence mode and then, of course, the Zombie mode back during the Halloween event. I don't really have any complaints about these other than that the zombie event was temporary and we don't get to play it all the time. But other than that, props to you guys. This was actually fun and I'd like to see more things like this. But if we discuss anything else with regards to long-term support, such as new points of interest or a new map, all of those things fall short. I mean, I actually remember, and I was recording myself when I was playing Warzone right after the new update when they brought a new map, Verdansk 84, and I was really excited to see what they changed, and it wasn't what I wanted it to be. Okay, here we go. Rock and roll. Ooh, hella chapters. Oh, gee. Oh. You know what? That's fine. That's fine. I know I'm playing on a 3080 and a 5950X, but you know what? All games need time to load in. Doesn't matter. So it looks kind of the same. Maybe it's different. Oh, Summit. Oh, this is new. Wow. Damn, it's completely gone. I mean, this used to be a house and now it's like a rectangle thing. Let's see what else the new map has to offer. Okay, so this is all, this is no longer ice, so that's new. It's not much different, but you know, it's new. I'll give them credit for that. It's been like 10 minutes. I haven't seen a single person. Oh, so I don't remember these trees being here, so that's, I mean, that's good. That's fresh. Oh, well, he's just a bitch. Ooh, new gulag. This is awesome. I'm glad I killed him. He was definitely cheating. So is it just me, or is this map not different, like, at all? There's like 5 new points of interest and that's it. This isn't a new map. I mean, really, this is the biggest ball drop of them all. They just didn't give us a new map. They updated like 5 points of interest, changed around the dam a little bit and the stadium. Everything else is the same, pretty much. Yeah, there's some new trees that they added, and they changed a couple of streets and city blocks. There's a park now. So that's cool. I don't consider it a new map. I don't think it changes the gameplay whatsoever or how we approach anything we're doing. It's really disappointing to see. And from everything I've heard from everybody else who plays Warzone a lot, it's very disappointing to see that after a year and billions of dollars, all they could do was add 5 new points of interest, and that's about it. It's frankly pathetic. I don't know, again, Warzone paradox. I don't know how you make as much money as they've made. You have a year and you can't get a new map, entirely new map put together. It's mind-blowing to me. But don't worry, we're going to talk a little bit more in just a few minutes about why this might be happening and why they might have dropped the ball so much, but we'll get to that, like I said, in just a minute. The next omnipresent elephant in the room is the complete disregard and ignorance surrounding anti-cheat systems of any kind within Warzone. When people think of Warzone, they think of cheaters. They think of people hacking, everything from wall hacks to aim bots to you name it. It's all in use. And honestly, this is the most difficult piece of this puzzle to discuss. We can talk about metas, lack of a new map, lack of new game systems and modes. We can talk about all of that, and it's relatively objective, and we can maintain a level head when it comes to it. I mean, I don't think anybody will disagree that DMR Zone was horrible. I don't think anybody thinks that the new map is really new. Everyone agrees it's just a reskin. But when we talk about anti-cheat, it's tough because that's not a catch-all term. When people talk about anti-cheat, a lot of the time they're thinking of something like BattlEye or Easy Anti-Cheat, the one with like the panda logo that you see at the beginning of Apex. These are broad anti-cheat softwares that you can tie into your game for a royalty fee on, I assume it's every hour that's played with the game that this system is actually in use. But all told, it's expensive, and it's purely designed to eliminate cheaters or catch cheaters and ban them through hardware bans. Now, these things are actually cool. They actually look at the unique identifiers on each piece of your system's hardware that's found within the firmware of your computer, and they ban that unique identifier. So they're not banning your Activision account or your EA whatever account. They're actually banning your graphics card, which makes it way harder to continue cheating, make a new account, and keep going. Now, of course, there are still workarounds. There are people that are very capable and can actually change what that unique identifier is on their hardware so that they can continue cheating. But by all accounts, that's a pretty rare thing that people do because it causes all sorts of other issues when it comes to Windows updates and other software that you might be trying to use. So it's not something that's super common, although it is possible. And so while we can all agree that hardware bans are good, what I think gets lost in the shuffle is that people are like, well, let's just ban people. Activision sends out all these tweets. Ravensoft sends out all these tweets. We banned 35,000 cheaters today. We banned 50,000 yesterday. We banned 10,000 tomorrow. They say all of this. It doesn't mean anything if people can just hop back on and continue doing it. Because what many people forget is that there is a community wherein getting the cheats working is almost just as much fun as playing with the cheats themselves. Weirdly, these people view overcoming the anti-cheat systems as a goal in and of itself. To ban them is just a new challenge to overcome. They hop on the forums together and they start working out a way to get around this new hurdle. Now, of course, all of this isn't to say that you shouldn't try to prevent cheaters or put in some anti-cheat system, but what it is to say is that a comprehensive anti-cheat system that actually kicks these people out and keeps them out would likely be so draconian and require such aggressive policies in order to be effective that it would end up punishing just as many legitimate players as it would cheaters. The unfortunate reality is that Warzone is rife with cheaters, and there doesn't really seem to be a solution that would be effective. So it doesn't seem as though this is going to change anytime soon. But there is something that we should consider. One possibility that might be a little hard to swallow. You see, Warzone uses a skill-based matchmaking system, or an SBMMS. And they do this to maintain a decent level of competition from match to match. If you play at a 4KD, you're going to be matched with other players that are playing at a similar level as you so that you have some semblance of a challenge. Whereas if it was completely randomized, you would likely be going up against the dude that just turned 7 years old and is playing on his dad's laptop. And then you'd also be paired with Nick Merckx and Tim the Tap Man, who are going crazy trying to record for some crazy YouTube video. The point is, you would have some matches which you would dominate in and others where you get demolished. Now, what's funny is that everyone always thinks that their lobbies are way harder than everyone else's. And as a result, there's a lot of complaining that goes on. I mean, we all have that friend that's convinced every time they get outplayed in any gunfight ever, they're dealing with a cheater. Doesn't matter who, doesn't matter what weapons they were using or where they were or if they were distracted when it happened, it's always a cheater. Listen, there are, of course, lots of cheaters in Warzone. I'm not going to pretend as though there's not. However, if you're encountering 2, 3, 4, or 5 in a game, it's likely you that's got the problem. Not that you're cheating, but rather that you're probably writing off every encounter where you get outplayed as an encounter with a cheater to make yourself feel better. There are, of course, exceptions. Players with a 3, 4, 5, 6 KD are going to be matched with cheaters far more often because cheaters usually are doing that purely to boost their KD and get more kills in games. So if you're using a skill-based matchmaking system, players who are more elite, who are playing legitimately, are going to get paired with people who are cheating to get those higher KDs because they're both going to have high KDs. So they get matched together. So you're going to end up with streamers and pro players that encounter these people a lot more frequently than you would if you were playing the game. Yeah, I called you an amateur. You're not a pro. So while elite players are going to encounter cheaters all the time, I'm talking to the average gamer with a 1 KD, which is the average, are not going to be encountering people with aimbot, with wall hacks all the time. You're just not. Those people, if they're using those hacks, won't be matched with you because the entire point of hacks and cheats is to play at a level above average. So they're not going to be skill-based matched with you because you're playing at average level. You feel me? I mean, everybody knows that Warzone has cheaters. Everybody knows that. So everyone assumes every time they get smoked, it was by a cheater. And that's just not true. Chances are they just outplayed you. Suck it up. Okay, low-key, I was kind of gagging. He's actually cheating. He's inside the building. This was all a gag, and he's actually cheating. Oh my god. Okay, like the whole joke of this bit was that I was going to go around and like record people who weren't cheating, but pretend like they were and exaggerate. This guy's actually cheating. He's clipped inside the building, and he's just camping it, shooting people through the invisible walls. Like, bro. Okay, yeah, no, that's... That's pretty bad. So that brings up the kind of comprehensive question at the center of all of this. Is this the best that Activision can do, or are they just lazy? I really think it's a combination of the two. To some extent, the issues with the cheaters and everything they're dealing with, the hacks, that is a legitimate issue, and I think they're trying to find a solution to it. But every time they come up with a solution, there's a new round of cheaters and hackers and new programs that are out there that make it impossible to keep up with on their end. They're trying, but I can only imagine how many cheaters they're dealing with and how resourceful and, I mean, honestly, sharp a lot of these people are. If you're able to get in there and code something that alters the actual code of a video game as it's happening live and sending data to and from a server, like, you're a force to be reckoned with. So I can understand how they're struggling to keep up with it. They're doing hardware bans. That's a misnomer. People think that they aren't. They are issuing hardware bans. That is something they're doing. They, of course, don't do that on the first offense. They want to make sure that they're absolutely certain you are a cheater before they ban your hardware. But that is something they have done and are doing. So I think they're taking steps. It's just such a huge game. I think it's gotten out of control at this point, and it's kind of beyond their control at this point. They don't know how to keep up with it, and it's a little beyond them. So they're just trying to keep up with their own game at this point, which is crazy to think about. But that's the level of demand and interest we're dealing with. Tens upon tens upon tens of millions of players. It's crazy. And then the other issue with the map, I really struggle trying to find a way to explain this away. I don't think it makes sense. I think it's frankly unacceptable. The game has been out for a year and we have yet to get a new map, a true new map. I don't know why they can't figure this out, but to some extent, you know, they have just kept doing the bare minimum and it still works. People are still playing it like crazy, still at the top of the charts on Twitch almost every single day. And there's no end in sight. So I think they're just riding this thing out and they'll see when it stops printing money. But as for right now, there's no end in sight. Hopefully Battlefield comes along and offers the new Warzone that gets all the support that they need, new maps constantly and all this stuff. But we'll just have to wait and see. You know, we can hope, but who knows if EA will be able to deliver. But before we go, quick announcement on a giveaway I mentioned at the beginning of the video. First, make sure to like the video. Make sure to follow me on Twitter. Links below. That's how you find out about all of these videos and giveaways that I'm doing. Secondly, we're doing a giveaway of Resident Evil Village. If you want a copy on either Xbox, PlayStation, or PC, all you have to do is head over to my Twitch, linked in the description box below, and follow. That's the only way I'm going to be able to track down who the actual winner is and who entered the giveaway. So make sure you follow the link below, hit follow, then you're good. There are a few contingencies and things that you need to know. Those are going to be described in the description box below, but throw your hat in the ring. You might win a free copy. Who doesn't want that? Giveaway winner will be announced on launch day on the 7th of May. So check it out. Make sure to do all of that. And again, follow me on Twitter because I do giveaways like this all the time. If you're watching this video after the 7th, after the giveaway's over, it's fine. It's no problem. There's probably a new giveaway going on right now. Just follow me on Twitter. You'll find out about it. But that's it for me. Thank you for watching. I love you all very, very much. Let me know what you think of Warzone and everything that Activision's been doing. And I'll see you in the next video. Peace out. Love you.